Now, we're going to talk a bit about KSI and one of the YouTube boxers. I was saying to you off air there, I saw some Jake Paul trying to call out Canelo Alvarez. Still thinks he can make that fight happen. I'm a little bit uneasy with it, but you've spent some time with KSI today. He's got a couple of fights coming up. What do you make of it as a boxing purist?
Well, in answer to the Jake Paul against Saul Canelo Alvarez, I think he get knocked out within a few seconds. I don't think they would. The commissions in America would license that. I mean, he's doing it for clickbait. He's a brilliant promoter. He's got much better as a boxer as Jake Paul, and funnily enough. Being with KSI, I was just down under the bridge there at Glazier's Hall just now. He's got a press conference right now with a guy called Dillon Danis, who's a mixed martial artist, more of a jiu-jitsu guy than a boxer, and they're going to be boxing at the Wembley OVO Wembley Arena on January the 14th. KSI sells out straight away. He's got something like 25 million YouTube subscribers. A small country follows him, basically, of people 29 and under. And I do as well. I'm older than 50, but I follow him, as Louis Theroux does, by the way. He's making a documentary about him coming out in January. Well, these guys, KSI was fascinating. He said he's come back to boxing. He's had a few YouTube celebrity fights, or white-collar YouTube celebrity fights, whatever you want to call them. And we've broadcast one of them on talkSPORT. Myself, Van Cattrall, and Spencer Oliver and Andy Clark. It was a fantastic night. I was just describing it to you in the break, how fascinating it was being around these young rappers.
So a completely different audience that you'd expect at a normal fight night?
Yeah, but an audience that we should be aware of. Because they are the influencers now, and as we get older, they are the people who have a huge influence. KSI has made a lot of young people go to the gym. He looks physically fabulous. I've just been sitting with him on my own in a room, interviewing him for 20 minutes, and he said, look, Jake Paul's calling me out. I'm coming back. They're going to do that at Wembley Stadium next year. That's how big this is getting.
Wembley Stadium?
Yes, wow. Wembley Stadium. It's big enough. They've got enough followers. You put their followers together, they've got 50 million followers globally. And I'm sure 90,000 of them, 80,000 of them would want to go to an event and say, I was there. The events that I've been to, and I went to KSI against his brother Logan Paul back in 2018, I think it was, in Los Angeles. I was sitting there, Justin Bieber was behind me, and Lil Wayne, do you know all these people? Yeah. And it's like, you're in the midst of this.
Not personally.
No, but I mean, I got in the green room that day and had a little word with them, but I don't know them personally either.
Lil Wayne, there was Lil and Doris Wayne.
Exactly.
He's going back to the 50s. Go bingo with my lady.
Exactly.
Lovely lady, Lil. Aunt Lil, I used to call her.
This is what I mean. But, the audience was fantastic. It was like the atmosphere of... Lords. It was applause, a ripple of applause between rounds. And when they went at it, Logan Paul and KSI won. The last couple of rounds, they were off their seat. So it's a very exciting movement. I am uneasy about it being called true boxing, but it's definitely entertainment for a certain audience.
It feels a bit like the old boxing you'd get at the fairground, a little bit like getting someone out of the crowd and someone, I've been to a couple.
I worry about
entertainment.
If you've got YouTuber and it's all controlled, I haven't got much of a problem with that. People want to go and watch it, that's fine. The ones that worry me is when someone like Canelo decides that he's going to have to put Jake Paul in his place, and there'll just come a day when they go off script slightly and they give one of these guys a good hiding, and I just wonder about what that might
maybe
mean.
That's what it takes, Paul. Maybe that's what it'll take.
But no
one gets hurt. But by the same token, if you keep, you shouldn't mess about with boxing. You can't play boxing.
You can't play boxing, as you rightly say. I mean, Jake Paul's trying to get a world governing body ranking, isn't he? With the World Boxing Council. I spoke to Mauricio Sulaiman at a lunch down at Stratfield beginning of last week, and he was saying, look, we have to consider it. He's putting himself forward. No, they shouldn't be, because it puts all the work that everyone else does in boxing into the shade then. The true boxers, the ones who've been through the amateur game and coming into the professional game. So we all have to keep an eye on that. We have to police that, in my view, and have our opinions and be very strong about it. But for me, I don't have any issue with the fact that these guys are coming into boxing, that they're testing themselves. They've got to have the cojones to do it. They're going to the gym every day. They're getting in shape. They're having a massive influence on a young audience that are following them.
Are you seeing a knock-on effect from the audience that are maybe watching some of the YouTube boxers that are thinking, I quite like boxing as a sport. I will go off. I will go and see Tyson Fury at at Tottenham's ground. I will go. Do you think it's feeding into that? You think more people are getting into the sport because of it?
Well, we were right in the centre of that arena, whatever it was, 11 days ago. It was an extraordinary night, 60,000 people. In December, by the way.
Yeah.
Bob Arum, 91 years old, in his coat, gloves, hat, scarf, saying to me, we couldn't have done this with Muhammad Ali, or maybe they could have done it with Muhammad Ali, but extraordinary. I don't know whether the audience is crossing over yet. I don't think it's been going long enough for us to know, but we are getting, I don't even know on their names, but the winner of Love Island and and Tommy Fury's an interesting one, actually, because is he a boxer or is he an influencer? And he's one of those caught in the middle. I think he'll fight Jake Paul next year as well. And we have to decide where the grey area is. But there's no grey area about, that this is an inherently dangerous sport. As long as people are paired together and matched right, then that's fine. Look, Jake Paul fought Anderson Silva, one of the great mixed martial artists of all time, a couple of weeks back, and knocked him down. Knocked Anderson Silva down. I mean, I thought it would be nailed down that Anderson Silva will get to Jake Paul, but he didn't. But he's 46. So it's matchmaking is a very, very skilled thing.
And they just can't. Someone like Anderson, well, he's not going to say, no, not that he's a poor man, but he's not going to say no to the money, is he? He's not going to say suddenly, I think I'll walk away from that. It's easy money for him, effectively.
Absolutely, and that's why, just to bring something into perspective about boxing that you probably would have asked me, even though you want to get rid of me in about 2 minutes.
Not even that long.
No, exactly. I mean, I've been in that chair, unfortunately, and I know. I will make it very brief.
Yeah.
That's why Chris Eubank Jr. agreed to carry on with Conor Benn back in October, because they were both getting probably 3 million plus, up to 5 million tops, and wanted to have that fight, and thankfully it didn't go ahead. Now we have Conor Benn saying I'm innocent again, but let's see what plays out here.
Yeah, we're waiting. I mean, we can't really talk too much about it for obvious reasons, but he has said that the truth is about to come out and everybody's going to be surprised. So we just await that news, don't we now, really?
Yeah, but we don't know yet. I mean, that's with WBC, who he tested positive for clomiphene, but also there's a UCAD test through VADA, Voluntary Anti-Doping Association. And because I spoke to the Boxing Board of Control, Robert Smith of Boxing Board of Control, when that statement came out, and he said, no, we're not close to a resolution. So it probably won't be with a British licence if he is exonerated straight away.
Okay. Well, it's fascinating stuff. Gareth, lovely to see you, as
Cheers,
always.
Gareth.
I'll see you later.
We will see you later.
Love Fight Night. I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
Huge
it's a great show. It's a great
night.
every Saturday night.
I leave a gig. I've just done a gig. Get in the car. Fight Night's on.
Bit of boxing
gets
chat.
me all the way home.
Fantastic. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Every Saturday. It can be a bit of a movable feast around live football, but generally you're on around sort of between 9 and 10 o'clock, aren't you? Really?
9, 10 to midnight. Yeah, and it's a movable feast, mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Lots
as well,
because of these guys' contacts, Adam and Gareth. You get lots of really great guests on the show. So if you love your boxing, every Saturday evening here on talkSPORT. Cheers, Gareth. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.